Had a lot of DMs about our client, Jakobi Meyers, how the trade went down, how this affects our process, our reality, all these things. I literally just landed back from Jacksonville. Saw him Monday after his opening game versus Houston. I'd lived 3 years in Jacksonville with my client, Evan Ingram, when he was down there. So I'm very familiar with the area. I have fields available. I know where he should go eat, all these things, just helping him get acclimated. The reality is this. We knew about 2 weeks before the trade deadline that there was a chance that Kobe could get traded. We really were preparing for the reality of staying in Vegas because that was the more difficult scenario. The harder thing I was preparing Kobe for is how we want to play, how we want the film to look, how we want to attack this, assuming you're staying. Let's assume a trade isn't going to happen because that's very much so out of our control. And let's get your mindset, your body, your aura back to what, the Jakobi Meyers is that I know and love and that I believe in, and get you playing your best football for the Las Vegas Raiders. And then if you get traded, we'll deal with that as we go. Because you are playing for your next contract. You're auditioning for next year's free agency. So no matter what is going on behind the scenes over there, you got to block this out and you got to go play. So that was our first challenge. Then we get to the week of, and I start talking to his agent, and shout out to Brandon, by the way. Brandon Parker did a phenomenal job of this whole thing. But what are the chances that he actually gets traded? They start to seem higher and higher just based on the level of interest coming in from other teams and the Raiders being willing to, trade him for what they felt was fair compensation. Once we knew it was likely it was going to go down, the challenge was not getting too excited, was not losing our focus, was staying where our feet are and really focusing on this week's opponent, this week's task, and not getting caught in the big picture. He played a Sunday game and then was scheduled to play the Broncos on Thursday of the trade deadline. So he was in the building Monday, Tuesday, getting ready to play the Broncos. But with that, knew it was a high likelihood someone was going to come get him at the trade deadline and that the Raiders were going to be willing to move him. So he packed an emergency bag that he had ready for himself while preparing for the Broncos, right? This is the level of professionalism these guys have to have. On one end, he's like, I'm ready to fucking get on a flight at any point. And on the other end, I'm figuring out how I'm going to play my best against the Denver Broncos in 2 days from now. Turns out he gets traded. Wake up that morning, his agent's like, there's a 98, 99% chance this goes down. It's just a matter of who offers the most and where he ends up going. At that point, we had an idea of some of the finalists, but you really never know. Things can happen last minute. So as far as Kobe and I, things move very fast, where he goes from preparing for a Thursday night game, taking the emergency bag that he packed and getting on a plane with it, and now he's living in a hotel until his family can meet him down there. He arrives on Wednesday, he practices Wednesday, and by Friday night, now we're on the call preparing for the Houston Texans. Things change like that. He's getting down there, getting acclimated to an area, which really, when it comes to getting used to the area, that's what he puts last. He's just going to stay in a hotel until he gets the offense down, until he's acclimated down there. Like, he wants to honor the trade that was just made. He's very grateful that a team values him this much, that wants to give him the ball like they do. Like, he really wants to honor this opportunity. So he's doing everything he can to get the football side right. On my end, I'm adjusting my travel schedule because I was supposed to go to Vegas that next week. Now we're changing things around to go to Jacksonville. And I am now doing my work on the back end to say, hey, Kobe, you go take care of everything you need to take care of, right? Go take care of meeting the coaches, meeting your new quarterback, spending time with them, getting acclimated to the area, and getting your family organized with a plan that makes them feel comfortable. Because I can't handle any of that stuff. I'll take care of the Houston Texans. I'm going to do the most detailed scouting report I can on Derek Stingley, on Lassiter, on all their DBs, so that as soon as we talk Friday, even if you don't spend the time that you normally would have spent really deep diving into the opponent, I got you. And we're going to have all the relevant information that you need ready. And that's what we did, right? He went and got acclimated. He's not like he's still watching film. But he's got a whole playbook to learn. He's got new faces to meet. Like, he's got a lot on his plate. And when you get traded for a 4th and a 6th round pick, there's no waiting around. The expectation is you're playing Sunday because we got to go fucking win right now. That's a hell of a lot of shit to move around and think about and make plans about and people to talk to and pieces to just a lot of moving parts. To where that when we get on this call Friday night, we're at peace. You got 48 hours to focus on the Houston Texans and go play your best ball. And I'm proud to say Kobe did. He went 3 for 3 on his targets, had a touchdown that was called back from a false start penalty, ended up with 40 yards, made every play he could, didn't play a ton down the stretch just because 2-minute drill and stuff. There were just too many calls that he just didn't know, but we expect to see a full workload going forward. But that is the reality, bro. Despite the football part, he has a family in Vegas. He's happy in Vegas. He's created a home in Vegas. And just like that, he's got an emergency bag packed, ready to go to some part of the country he's never been to and go play football for another team at the drop of a dime. This is ultimately what these guys get paid millions of dollars for. Yes, making the plays and doing all this stuff, but it's to be able to adapt and make yourself vulnerable and still go put out your best performance while all these things are unknown. That's the true professionalism. I'm very proud of Kobe handled himself this week. He did a great job dealing with his family and dealing with everything that comes with moving, a whole group of people across the country. That's ultimately what happens when a player gets traded. Kobe did a great job handling everything on his end, all the personal stuff. His agent did a great job in the trade process, making it as simple and easy on Kobe as possible. And then I felt like it was my job to come in and do the final cleanup and just kind of, setting up a path for Kobe to deal with all these factors and still find success on Sunday in a very unique and very, unpredictable type of week. And at the end of the day, when he went to sleep Saturday night, he was prepared to go put on his best performance. He was in shape. His body felt good. He knew everything he could from the plays, and he knew how to attack the opponent, and he went out there and played great.